Good evening, and welcome to the Weekly Voice, presented by VNN. Bringing you today's top 10 Canadian news stories on May 5th, 2025. Let's get started. May is Asian Heritage Month, and TD Bank is spotlighting voices from across its team to reflect on what inclusion truly means. Employees like Muhammad Kara and Sonia Bassi say TD empowers them to bring their full cultural identities to work, helping connect with diverse customers in meaningful ways. From cultural celebrations to language familiarity, these colleagues highlight how representation, empathy, and lived experiences drive a culture of belonging. TD's efforts underscore a broader message this month. Inclusion is not a corporate buzzword. It's a mindset rooted in real stories and authentic impact. Happy Asian Heritage Month from all of us at Voice Media. In true Trump fashion, the former US president is now claiming credit for Canada's recent federal election outcome. In an interview with The Atlantic, Trump said his presence in the headlines helped turn what could have been a conservative landslide into a liberal minority win. He boasted that his polarizing effect shifted public opinion and weakened Pierre Poilievre's lead. While some call it bluster, polls did show Trump's tariffs and 50 first-state remarks drove swing voters toward Mark Carney's Liberals. Whether it's ego or influence, Trump is once again inserting himself into Canada's politics, just ahead of a high-stakes meeting with PM Carney. A renters' revolt is building across Canada as soaring housing costs push people to the edge. From students to seniors, tenants are sharing stories of $400 rent hikes, renovictions, and landlords gaming the system. In provinces like Alberta and New Brunswick, rent spikes are unregulated, while in Ontario and BC, loopholes allow massive increases between leases. With housing insecurity on the rise, calls for stronger rent control are louder than ever. Advocacy groups say this crisis demands national reform, not just band-aid policies. The fight for affordability is no longer just economic. It's becoming a defining Canadian rights issue. Donald Trump says the US isn't planning to invade Canada, but he's not giving up his dream of turning us into the 51st state. In a weekend interview, Trump said military action is off the table, but he would still talk about statehood during his upcoming meeting with Prime Minister Carney. He also repeated false claims about the US subsidizing Canada by billions and downplayed our economic value. As tensions over tariffs and energy rise, analysts say Trump's mix of mockery and manipulation could complicate cross-border talks. For Carney, the challenge is to protect sovereignty while navigating one of the most unpredictable US presidents in history. Alberta's frustration with Ottawa has exploded into full-on talk of separation. Hundreds rallied at the legislature in Edmonton this week, waving both Alberta and US flags, demanding independence or even statehood. Many blamed the recent Liberal election win for deepening their alienation, especially over energy policy and economic neglect. Premier Danielle Smith's government just made it easier to hold referendums, potentially setting the stage for a future sovereignty vote. Meanwhile, First Nations leaders are warning any move towards secession threatens treaty rights. The unity of Canada could soon face one of its biggest stress tests yet, and Alberta is ground zero. Good evening. In a bid to boost their chances at permanent residency, more newcomers in Canada are turning to an unexpected strategy: learning French. With CRS scores rising and PR pathways tightening, international students like Harbal Deep Sidhu are spending thousands each month on French lessons to earn extra points. Immigration lawyers say mastering French can drastically improve express entry chances, while French colleges across Ontario report surging enrollment. For many, bilingualism is no longer optional. It's survival. With only 395,000 PR spots available this year, every point counts. Canada's Wonderland is facing legal heat from the Federal Competition Bureau, accused of misleading ticket prices online. At the center of the controversy is drip pricing, advertising one price while tacking on hidden fees at checkout. The Bureau says these tactics deceive consumers, with fees ranging from $0.99 to $9.99 added after purchase. The amusement park denies any wrongdoing, But this follows Cineplex's $39 million fine for similar practices. If Wonderland is found guilty, it could reshape how online pricing is displayed across Canada. Premier Doug Ford is calling on Prime Minister Carney to back a massive infrastructure push, headlined by a proposed tunnel beneath Highway 401. He calls it nation-building. Critics call it a boondoggle. Ford says it will boost trade and connectivity, but opposition leaders argue it's an expensive distraction as auto jobs vanish and transit needs remain unmet. The tunnel is one of many projects Ford once prioritized, alongside nuclear expansion, regional rail, and mining in the Ring of Fire. Canada's water wealth is vanishing. As climate change accelerates, lakes and rivers in BC, Alberta, and the prairies are drying up. Crop losses, shrinking hydroelectric output, and surging insurance claims show how serious the drought is becoming. Drinking water quality is falling, algal blooms are rising, and even salmon migration is being blocked. Experts say this isn't just environmental, it's economic and social. As forests weaken and wildfires grow, governments are being urged to act now or risk irreversible losses. Donald Trump is bringing the drama back to Hollywood, literally. The US president announced a 100% tariff on all foreign-made films, saying America's movie industry is under threat from overseas production. Citing Canada, the UK, and Australia as unfair competitors, Trump says the move will force studios to bring jobs back home. But critics call the plan vague and dangerous for global film distribution. With Hollywood still recovering from strikes and COVID, this latest tariff war may hit the silver screen next. That's all for today's top stories. Thank you for joining us on The Weekly Voice, presented by VNN. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you next time.